Okay, along the lines of the dream realm, I'm not sure if this was a dream realm, but about 15 years ago, I had an experience where I left my body during my sleep.
Yes?
And I saw myself, and then I heard a voice. I started to kind of freak out because I wasn't sure what was happening. And I heard a voice. I thought to myself, am I dying? And a voice said, do you want to die? And I said, no. And then all of a sudden I was in one with the stars, and then I really I was feeling peaceful, and then for a moment I started to freak out again, and then I had this strange realignment back into my body, which was very weird as well. It hasn't happened since. It happened once, and I happened to actually be meditating that day, and I asked to be shown my power. And this is what happened.
And your question is?
Well, I'd like to happen again, but maybe it's my fear of what happened during the time, and is that...
Well, the thing is, it's like you ask a question, I'd like to know who I am, I'd like to be shown my power, and then you are shown it, and then you say, okay, now I've forgotten, I'd like to be shown again.
Well, it was fun and strange and weird at the same time, so I would like to experience it not with...
We think the value of it, the answer to your question that was given to you, the words that we would put to the experience that you had was you felt the freedom of that releasing into a state of non-resistance. You then, through the power of your mind, introduced resistance to it anyway, which made it feel a little weird and uncomfortable. Then you were clear about it and enjoyed it a little bit. Then you added weirdness to it as you worried about it, and then you reemerged back into your body where you felt the resistance again. So it was an experience to help you feel the freedom of, or the resistance of, your choices. The thing that we would like to accentuate, really clarify, is that that doesn't mean that out of body is resistance free and in body is therefore full of resistance. You can be in your body and without resistance. You just have to practice it a little bit, because there is nothing more delicious to any of us than to be soaring here on this planet with all of you in a state of non-resistance. We do it all the time. It's you that brings resistance to the party, so you don't feel it like we do. Esther was telling a friend the other day that out-of-body experience feels like what she's seen in movies where they show the astronauts breaking through the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is causing tremendous stress on them, which she is equating to the resistance, and then they break through into that weightlessness, into that non-pull, that non-resistance. And that is what an out-of-body experience often feels like, while the coming back into your body feels like the descending back into the atmosphere again. But what Esther was really equating it to is what it feels like to be in this place of receiving Abraham, or in this place of true alignment. It's resistance free, and that's what you're reaching for, you see. Of course, you want to explore. You just want to be aware of what you're doing so that you're tending to it at the early subtle stages, not at the greater, more resistant stages where the spaceship breaks completely apart because of your lack of preparation. Yeah. Enough?
Enough. Thank you.
Out-of-body experience differs from dream only in this way. When you are dreaming, while you slumber, there is no resistance. So the answer to questions is more easily received by you, because you are in a less resistant state of being. But because you are unconscious and the download is happening all at once, the interpretation of the dream then is from the framework of the state of being you're in when you wake up. In other words, you go to bed, you're worried about something. When you wake up, you often step right back into the same vibration. So there is a translation problem that often clouds and makes dreams sort of a mystery, where in an out-of-body experience, in order for you to accomplish it, you are in alignment and you are in conscious awake state. So the experience that you had is coming to a consciously awake person who then is applying resistance or not and aware of what that feels like. Out-of-body experiences are really good indicators of what you've got going on vibrationally. First of all, you don't accomplish one unless you're in the vicinity of non-resistance. And often your fears about mortality, your concerns about what happens after death, often those things are soothed in an experience like that. Why don't you continue to have them? Because your intention is to be here. And those out-of-body experiences come infrequently in order to help you to put things into perspective. And that really is what this entire conversation has been about for you here today, to help you put your life experience into the bigger picture perspective so that you can understand what your emotional guidance system is really all about, so that you can get on your joyful path that you've carved out and do it in a conscious, deliberate way. It's possible to stumble upon a path of no resistance, but it's what we call creation by default. It's ever so much more delicious to have launched a dream and to be aware of it, and to know what it feels like, and to have felt the deliciousness of it, and then to watch it move from the vibration into the manifestations, all the way out to the fulfillment when everyone can then observe it. And then you might notice when everybody else gets a look at your dream, if you look at how they're looking, you can start to add resistance to your own dream and keep it from being what it started out as your true desire. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice to give up the binding of others' needs for you to be the condition that they need in order to feel good. So we have some questions for you, for all of you. This is your test. There is no test, but just so you can feel what has shaken loose within you today. So if someone is asking something of you and you feel this really generous spirit and alignment and you feel inspired to do it, is it a good idea to follow through with action?
Yes.
If someone is guilting you out, convincing you that they need something from you, and if you don't give it, they will suffer. First, what is the emotion that you feel under those conditions? Does it feel good or does it not feel good?
Not feel good.
So if it doesn't feel good, and then you take the action, are you more on your path or more off your path?
Off the path.
So in the subject of being of value to others, is it more on your path to be of value to others or not to be of value to others? What is more on your path? To be of value. You are born uplifters. If you are in alignment with who you are you more likely to be the uplifter that you were born to be?
Yes.
If their problem gets your attention and you feel bad, are you on or off your path?
Off the path.
If you're off your path, can you be of value to them?
No.
It's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yes, you are eternal beings, and you return again and again to this glorious leading edge time-space reality. Nothing in all of the universe is more exhilarating to any of us than to be here together with you on this leading edge. You explore and you refine and you come to better and better ways of living. You find more harmony with one another, more harmony with yourselves. This planet is not ending, it is only beginning. It is not diminishing, it is evolving and expanding. It is not in trouble, it is in the best place that it has ever been. When you find thoughts like that, how do they feel?
Great.
Is that on your path?
Yeah.
When you find thoughts that oppose that, how do they feel?
Negative.
Is that off your path?
Yes.
Can you help the planet that you adore when your gut is wrenched?
No.
Do you have any resources at all? Are you the creator of what's going on this planet?
Yes.
You want to create from the resources that create worlds?
Yes.
Are you willing to be selfish enough to hook up with those resources?
Yeah.
Can you tell when you're hooked up and when you're not?
Oh, yeah.
Is it your job to walk in step with someone who bugs you every step along the way?
No.
Is it your responsibility to make yourself like that when everything about it feels incompatible to you?
No.
Did your life give you things that you want?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to be able to decide what you like? Should you be sacrificing what you like to satisfy something other than what feels good to you?
No.
Can that lead to any good end?
No.
Anyway, you're so smart.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. So, path of least resistance, sometimes, especially to those who want to control you, doesn't sound like such a good idea, because they have taken some benefit by you not following your own guidance system about what's better for you. They like you to respond to the peer group pressure, or to the employer pressure, or to the mate pressure, or to the relationship pressure, or to some sort of pressure. They want you, most everyone do, you do too, you want people to behave the way you need them to behave so that you can feel good. And if you've got someone in your life who is not behaving the way you need them to behave in order for you to feel good, we know that you spend quite a bit of time thinking about that person and their bad behavior and giving them the credit for why you don't feel good. I would feel so much better if you would be different than you are. The problem with that is you can't control the way they are. So you give up all of your power and all of your alignment in the futile attempt to control something that has never been and will never be any of your business. Everybody gets to choose their path of least resistance. And the thing that's tricky about that is that it feels to you like you would like to choose your path of least resistance, but they should also choose your path of least resistance. And we say, that's not how it works. You got to get to this place where you're really going to let them choose their path of least resistance. So until you do that, you're just bumping up against this and bumping up against this. And we say to you, we love you so much. But what we notice is that you're living such conditional lives. If this condition would change, then I'll feel good, you say. Or if that condition would change, then I'll feel good. But you can't control the conditions, so you get all balled up in this futile conversation with people up close to you and people on television, with the whole world, that if they would just be different, you would feel better. And what we want you to understand, Esther said the other day, I keep catching these 4-second glimpses where I can see a world where each one of us really is following our path of least resistance. And in doing so, we're lined up with all that we are. So we are in confidence and clarity and love. And then from that vibrational stance, law of attraction matches us up with somebody else who in that moment, not forever, not having always been there, but in this moment is a vibrational match to that too. And we have this wonderful, albeit temporary, ride together. And then off I keep going on my path of least resistance, and off they keep going on their path of least resistance. But so often you're not looking for the confident, secure, eternal, ongoing connection with who you really are. You're looking for the approval from somebody else. Do you like what I did? Do you like how I feel about this? Do you agree with me? Because it is sort of satisfying to have somebody who agrees with you, who validates you, who says, yes, I have weighed all of the pros and cons of the injustices that you have just lived with that person, and I agree completely that you are right and they are wrong. And you say, it is so good that you feel that way. But the problem with that is you could get a whole lot of people agreeing with you about a whole lot of things, and it's still puny and paltry in comparison with your connection to who you really are. So you really don't want to give up your connection to who you really are for some agreement that is temporary and maybe not even real. They're probably just afraid of you. Afraid of the repercussions that they get from you if you don't agree with them. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sure you're right about that. I'm sure you're exactly right about that. I agree with you completely. Sometimes they've discovered it's the only way they can get you to stop talking about what's bothering you. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right.